Hi there babies, this is Cassandra. I'm a Riffle in Time and I'm so glad you're here. Today we're doing an unboxing of the Isabella Rotman's This Might Hurt Tarot, but the mass market edition. Previously had stocked the indie version of this deck. I really love the magnetic box that the original comes in, so I was a little worried that I wasn't going to be as pleasantly surprised as I am. This box is also a very nice sturdy box. It is beautiful and so colorful. I think this box also is a better representation of what the deck's going to look like, where this is like black and gold and maybe does not lead you to believe that it's going to be as colorful as it is. One of the things I love about This Might Hurt is the coloration of the cards, and I think this is an amazing way to showcase the art. I really love the art in this deck. And there is actually, I'm very surprised, I don't have another deck that has a box that opens like this, but does this have, and it even more images from the cards. This is beautiful. So the box opens up. It is also beautifully decorated inside, but slides out to have this a box in a box, and it has the cards. I really love this. Then inside here, let's be careful. Oh, this probably is helping keep everything sturdy inside. We have the cards and the guidebook, and then also again beautifully decorated inside. This is so beautiful. I really like that I could set this on my desk with like the cards in it, and I could just like have this not even be in play, and this could just be like a display piece I just like pull my deck out of. I love that. Okay, so the cards, I'm so excited and nervous. The original This Might Hurt did have the black. Now I will say I really love the backs of the indie version because it's this beautiful contrasted black and white, and I've always really loved how satisfying that was for me. I would say that I'm not huge on, like, it doesn't have to be edged. This is the holographic edging that comes on the indie. There is not an edging on the new mass market version. Hold on. Let me get the little plastic off. But there's not an edging, and that's okay with me. I don't need it, and I don't think it does much for my uses, especially because I like to riffle shuffle. The gilding sometimes and edging can show wear, and also it usually tends to make the cards a little bit stiffer. So these are definitely thinner than the original. They have a little more give, but these are actually, oh, there at least is one bonus card in the new edition that is not in the previous indie, but these are glossy, whereas these were a matte. So they are still true to size. The backs are different. Now, I will say I probably do prefer, if I'm being honest, the indie version just because I really love the contrast. But these are still beautiful, and I'm so glad that the backs are staying the same. Just the colors are different, which I think suits the new deck. I will say that. I think it really does suit that lighter, more pastel-y vibe. I'm gonna pause you, and I'm gonna flip you around, and we're gonna do an overhead. Alrighty, be right back. Okay guys, on the left here we have the Liminal 11 Mass Market Edition. On the right we have the indie, and I've kept the guidebooks and the backings above so you can easily distinguish as we're looking, because the differences are slight. I think to the naked eye, especially somebody who doesn't have the deck right next to it, I don't know if you would realize that there is a difference. It's just a slight lightening and brightening. And some cards, I think it really helps to show the detail. This is actually one of them. This card, the background's pretty dull and dark. And then here we have the moon more illuminated. You can see just the bigger light and dark of the what is supposed to be pillars represented in the trees. I love the almost freshness and the clarity it's giving some of the details that might be a little easily overlooked in some cards that are a little darker in the Indie edition. I am happy to report, though, it doesn't seem that there is any changes in the images. I was not sure if that was going to happen, and I was quite nervous. I love the imagery from This Might Hurt. This deck is one of my favorite decks, and especially when I'm suggesting to beginners. It does the Rider-Waite-Smith, but modern, inclusive, representative, and so beautifully done. I love that the diversity is in so many different ranges, and I think that this deck has some of the most representative images in the tarot decks that I have personally dealt with. That and Numinous is another one that always immediately comes to my mind. I just am so happy to see, again, just a little lightening here. The other really big difference I mentioned is the gloss, though. The matte versus the gloss would be the only other thing that it's going to affect the image, really. So just a lightening, like this card, it's so slight I can barely tell. It's like taken a little of the teal out of it and it looks a little bluer maybe. But for the most part, again, just a lightening. I also put the cards for the aces of the minors just so we could see. Now this, actually, that's funny. Okay, this seems pretty the same. This is actually lighter in the Indie edition. The colors are more contrasted, it seems, if you're looking at the flowers, but that's the first time here as well. I think, honestly, I don't really see a difference in this one. This one is lighter. Again, this is more teal, and this is more of like maybe like a lighter blue. I don't have the words for the exact blues, but there is just an ever so slight difference in those. But again, we don't have the edging, but the cards, like I'm holding the same amount of cards and it still feels pretty similar. I really have always loved the guidebook for This Might Hurt. I think that the original Indie edition gives you a good bit about what the tarot is. It also has a nice bit on tarot and gender, and then it gives you even a little reverse meanings. Not everybody reads reversals, but it's there if you want it. And then every page has every card has a page for the image and a page for the little meaning here. I like too that the minors still have a good bit of wording here. There's not a big difference. In some guidebooks, they really cut out the minors to just a couple sentences. So I've always loved that. This is pretty similar in size, and honestly, what might be the big difference is it's just a little bigger. I'm excited to see. The guidebook is very beautiful as well. Okay, so we have color in the guidebook on the mass market edition. We are still seeing, okay, good. I am happy to see that this information's still staying. The guidebook's divided up a little different. So we get the introduction and then we get our gender and tarot little information here. We have card descriptions, then it's going to be how to read tarot spreads. So it's kind of organized a little different, but we're getting a full color image and our page kind of alternating here. This is, oh, what is like kind of the inverse, maybe is what the word is. So I think that's kind of cool that we have like a normally colored image, and then it has, when it's on the opposite page, it's doing the inverse. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so these are the majors. This is our bonus card. I'm excited to actually get into this. I can't wait to read this. But this might hurt and this might heal. Ah, that's so good. Now we're going over the minors. It's giving you a little information in the minors as like right before. Oh, that's really cool. So we have almost like a shadow back of where it has the cards. Each card's still getting a page for the minors, which I'm glad to see. We didn't lose any of that information. I really, really like the image being this way though. It being like shadowed behind. I love that. I think it looks so amazing. Then we have the how to read, performing a reading, giving you instructions reversed. We have some spreads here, always good to see, and kind of some info back here, and just some more images put in there. I think they did a really good job with this, honestly. I'm very excited that Liminal 11 is the one who was to publish this. I think they did a really great job with this deck. I want to see if I can fit this back in here ever so nicely. Let me just hit the camera. Or if this will be a difficult feat. Maybe, maybe not. Having some resistance. There we go. It's actually easier to do when you're right above. But it fits right back in there. And like I said, I will probably leave this out of its main box and have it sit like at my desk. And it can be, it's almost like having one of the cards framed, or like, you know what I mean? That's such a great idea. Alrighty guys, I'm gonna flip you back around and we will come back and chat for a minute. Alrighty guys, we are coming back the next day to finish filming this, and just wanted to do like my final thoughts, my wrap up, my roundup, and just to, you know, sign off. But I really am pleasantly surprised. I had been a little nervous about how this was going to turn out, but I think Liminal 11 did an amazing job. I love I almost said the hardware, but like the box. This is probably my favorite part about the new edition, is this little box in the box. I think also the guidebook, I loved to see the minors like this. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love that. I think it is also a way to like make the guidebook a little smaller too, without losing the like wealth of information that's in there. I don't mind the lack of edging. That's not something that bothers me. Now I will say I prefer the matte cardstock. I think this has a bit more of bendability though, and I usually do find that when there's not an edging or gilding on it. The gloss isn't terrible. I have some cardstock that's like, I can't take pictures of it if the light's on. I don't see that being the issue. I think I can hit it so that the light isn't completely distorting it. Overall, I'm just so happy that the images stayed the same. And again, the lightening of some of the cards, I didn't even notice, but it was a necessary, I think, lightening. I really think it did a lot for just clearing up what is already a beautiful image. So like I've said, I think This Might Hurt is a great deck, a great beginner deck, and I will have a couple copies. I think I might be restocking this. I'm very happy with the actual like production of this mass market deck here, and I'm just really happy to see Isabella have this still out in the world. I think that their creation is just so special, and I'm just so glad to be able to help share it. So this is This Might Hurt Mass Market Edition. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this, and you know all of the YouTube things below. I'll see you soon.